Yeah. We're back live. We're back live on ESK, and we're waiting on the Akaik Bear, and of course the rest of our sisters, Sister Sandra, Sister Fairley, and Sister Kate, to join us these historic broadcasts, and we're gonna be reaching you with some words of wisdom regarding the selected subject for discussion for tonight. Hope everybody ready out there to get with some good words of wisdom and inspirational thoughts as to what we're going to be talking about tonight, which is why a lot of Edolites in the diaspora often relocate home to start another family. Why we often relocate back home, those of us in the diaspora, to eventually start or raise another family. So we're just waiting on our sisters and our Kaigler to come aboard, because they are the ones who's gonna throw lights on the subject and bring it home for you. And of course, y'all can contribute as well and call in and offer your thoughts on the subject so we all can deliberate on it. We are live on ESK, and this is Osai Bubble 1 of the universe. I'll be with you shortly. Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, you're live. You're live.
Hello.
You're live. We are on air right now.
I be enter before me I enter now.
We are live as I speak with you. So come on aboard. That was Sister Sandra right there, one of the moderators for tonight's discussion. She's going to be with us shortly. We should be expecting her and a couple of others who are supposed to be part of the program to throw light on the issue at hand. Why Edolites in the diaspora often relocate home to raise another family. That is the subject of discussion on ESK tonight, and I hope y'all ready. Sister Sandra is about to get on board. Yeah, while we're waiting, I'm going to let y'all know that this is a revetting subject. It's a subject that's on top of the minds of a whole lot of Edolites in the diaspora. It's a question that keeps nagging. You know, why do people go back home to raise another family when they already have a family, you know, wherever they live in the diaspora, be it in Italy, in London, and in the United States, and all over. Therefore, find it necessary to relocate home to start another family. Why is that? Should that even be something to be considered? Why is it happening like that? Is it the right thing to do? What is behind? What is behind?
Hello.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, happy to introduce to you Sister Sandra. She just got on board. Sister Sandra, can we hear you?
Good evening, everybody.
I cannot hear you, Sister Sandra, and it appears that your mic is not, settings of your mic is not okay. I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
I hear you. I hear you.
If you can hear me, I cannot hear you. So
why?
You might want to like check your mic. Yeah, your mic is on mute.
Can you hear?
So you need to. Can you say something now?
Hello.
I still cannot hear you.
Okay, let me try this way. Hello. Yeah. What is happening then? I'm hearing you. I
still cannot hear you, Sister Sandra. Sister Sandra, can you hear me now? Hello? Wow, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Let me use
now I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes,
yes. I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Okay.
All right,
I
good.
Can hear
Finally,
you
finally, I can
Good
hear you. All right. So I'd like to apologize. It's all right. I'd like to apologize to all of the listeners out there for the technical hitch that we experienced in the beginning, but now I can hear Sister Sandra and you can hear me. And once again, let me introduce you to our lovely sister from Italy, Sister Sandra. She's going to be the head moderator for tonight's discussion, which is, as you can recollect, is why Edolites in the diaspora often relocate home to raise another family. That is the subject that we're going to be throwing lights on tonight's ESK's broadcast. And Sister Sandra is here to help us with that. And of course, we're expecting two other sisters. They're going to be on board later. And also the Okagbe himself, the Okagbe one of the universe, Mr. Monday Ohumue, is going to be with us later. Sister Sandra, welcome to ESK broadcast live
Thank
on
you
YouTube.
very much. I'm grateful. Greetings from Verona, Italy, to everyone out there. You are all welcome to today's show. Yes. Thank you.
All right. Sister, you good and ready. I can hear that. I can hear the excitement in your voice. And, I appreciate that. I know you are ready to roll, on the subject at hand today.
Thank you. I'm ready.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Well, while we're waiting on our other sisters to join us, and of course, the Okagbe one of the universe, Mr. Monday Ohumue, maybe we can start because we're not going to keep the audience waiting in a limbo for too long because due to the technical hitch, they've been waiting for a while. But we might as well just set the ball rolling, and they can join us when they come in. All right.
Okay.
Is that all right with you? All right, sister, that's good. Yeah, you are familiar with the subject at hand, because we had earlier made it known to the moderators that we're going to be asking questions as to why Edolites in the diaspora often relocate home to raise another family. So we can just start with the basic question, which is the clear and obvious one. Why do they do that? Why do Edolites find it necessary, Edolites in the diaspora find it necessary to relocate home to raise another family? Sister Sandra?
Okay, first of all, with apology, please can we find this channel in the WhatsApp, in the YouTube, because I wanted to share it to people.
We are live. We are live right now. Yes, ma'am. We are live on YouTube right now.
Okay, I wanted to share it. But,
yeah, you can go ahead and share it. Right now, just click the share button, and you can share it with other people so that they can be aware of the show. I can also share it with you. I lost Sister Sandra for some reason. I can't put my finger as to why. I think it's at our hand. The problem is emanating from her side. So I think she'll be joining us shortly again. I'm gonna give her a little call and make sure that everything is okay. All right. Excuse us again for the technical difficulties we are experiencing. That happens. Okay, I think she's back now. Let me add her to the.
I'm here again. I was about to share, then I went off.
Yes, you are.
Thank you for the question. Thank you for that question. In my answer to that, many of us have stayed in abroad for many years. After many years of living abroad, one must be homesick. Many of us are homesick. So majority of us that are homesick. Are you hearing me?
I hear you clearly, sister. Go ahead.
Okay. Many of us that are homesick, some are lonely because they don't have partners. Some are married to men or white women that may not go home with them. And there are some too that are married to those like us that may not want to go home too. What are these men thinking of? Can they go home and remain lonely? You know, one can be among 30 people or can be in with multitudes and can still feel lonely. Lonely in the sense that when you don't really have somebody, it's like it's echoing.
Go ahead. That's right. It's okay, sister. I don't hear the echo up here. Okay. Everything you sound clear here. You sound very clear. Okay. Don't worry about that.
One can be in midst of other people and be lonely. The only way to avoid loneliness is when you have a companion, when you have a partner. So going home alone is very difficult to decide on. But when you have a partner who can give you a push, will make the journey to be more easier.
Okay.
They say 2 heads are better than one. Many people choose their partners in Africa or in Nigeria or in Edo years back, and they were frustrated. Mostly many women were frustrated because those they chose were not people they really knew before. And they were of different levels and different grades. And some of them that only came because they were interested in what they brought from abroad. So but when one is able to have a partner here in Europe or in anywhere abroad, a partner that has already traveled out and see the other corners of the world and know how easy it is to make money or how difficult it is to make money, a partner that have similar stories with little differences.
Yeah.
When one is able to get such, when you click together, the sky will be their beginning. So then they will know that there is life after life. There is love after love.
Okay.
That is my contribution.
All right, ma'am. Thank you for that. The thing is that from what you're saying is that, you know, one of the reasons they find it necessary is basically due to the fact that they might have, you know, partners here that will not relocate home with them, right? But yes. That angle, let me ask you, what might be the contributing factors why those partners find it impossible to relocate home with the people, with somebody that he or she got married to abroad, you know? I mean, why would that be? Because in the existence of love, you can go anywhere with your partner. That's how my understanding of true love is all about. So why would it be impossible for people to relocate, you know, anywhere with their partners once the love is there?
Let me first of all start from the stories we are hearing from home these days. Only last night we heard of Oregbeni market in Ramat Park caught fire, and there were many looters. People were looting their goods. Imagine a woman going home to settle down finally. She may not want to stay indoor. She may want to put her hands into one business or the other. hearing that a market caught fire and there was no fire brigade to rescue the situation, or people on ground were stealing goods that people thought were going to be rescued from the fire. What will you think of that person going home? Where will she start thinking of the business she's going to do? And secondly, you know, living here in abroad, there is a different system of the way of living here and living back home. Many men and women are finding it difficult to comprehend on how they will live here. They will live when they get home, forgetting that home is home. They always accumulate the negative stories they are hearing from home, forgetting that people are still there and the same people are living fine there. Like me, I always feel I want to go home for simple reason that I have my families there. It's like I'm half part here, half part in Nigeria. Right from the very moment I came to Europe, I have never had it in mind that I was going to live here till the end of my life. Because when I was growing up, I had a name, a very traditional name that, you know, our names are like, some are blessings, some are names that gives a situation. Like this name was Igi Wijisi. Igi Wijisi. What does that mean? What does that mean? I will never live and die in abroad.
Okay.
I will never live in abroad and forget my home. So that name stuck in my brain right from the very day I entered Europe. And I've always been planning on how to make a move. Only that it is difficult after living 28 years in Europe. Going back home is not easy. Mostly when your partner is not willing to go with you. Home is, I know there are many things happening at home. They are not different from what is happening abroad. Things are happening, killings are at home, killings are in abroad too. So that is why it is difficult for many to relocate.
All right, you know, these you talking about the economic reasons now why, you know, using the example of what just transpired at Vermont Park in Benin City, using that as an example, you are talking about economic reasons, but is economic reason or are economic reasons enough for that? You know what I mean? The economic reasons you're talking about, why they are valid, but should that negate the fact that you're in love with somebody and the person is relocating somewhere, and you know the necessity for you to relocate with that person? Should economic reason determine that? Should economic reason be a deterrent, be an obstacle, you know, to that fact once love is in existence?
For me, no. It takes a great heart to decide in going home alone. I cannot see any reason a woman would not want to relocate with the husband when the husband is going home. There should be no reason. More or less, she is from that Nigeria that we all came from. If the whites are finding it difficult to relocate home, none of us Nigerians should find it difficult to relocate there, because that is our root. there is a parable that says a branch that falls from the tree can never grow well. So if you tend to say you live abroad, abroad is now your home, there is problem, and that person needs counseling. No matter what, home is home. And no matter how you stay abroad, be you citizen of heaven, you must be recognized with your own original citizenship. You can have 30 years anywhere in the world as your citizen, you got citizen from any country in the world, but by birth or by origin, you are from that nation. That is why I continue to tell people, do not tell your children any negative story of your kingdom. Edo is too great. Edo is too sweet for people to say, I cannot relocate. There is Edo parable that says, if you don't plant evil thing over there, don't fear any evil. For me, if all of us run away, who will stay and salvage the nation for us? We all should be proud of coming from Edo State or Nigeria. If people from Sudan, Eritrea, Ethiopia, they can be proud of their country, why can't we be proud of that country? We may say Nigeria is bad. Nigeria per se, is it bad? Is it not the people that are bad? Anything we learn abroad, we should go back home to go and teach those at home. That is my dream one day, to go back home. Anything I have learned here, to go and show them there. They said a change should start from you. So let that change start from our family. Then before we can now start changing other people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sister Sandra, for that. You know, I understand your point, you know, but the question still remains, you know, relocating back home, fear off it and all of that. Some of them are very, very valid points. Security reason is a great valid point why some people may find it impossible to say, I want to relocate with my partner back home. And you got to understand how important that is, because life has no duplicate. You only have one life here. And so if the situation on the ground makes it very, very horrendous and impossible for you to even think about relocating home with your partner, I mean, you can understand that even if you were born and raised over there, you want to be secured. You lived abroad for like you said, in your case, 28 years, or some of us, you know, it's a lifetime, you know, and relocating and going back to a situation where your life is not secured, where your properties are not secured, where you don't feel safe, where your children will not feel safe as well. Why would you want to put yourself in a situation? Why would you want to put the lives of your children at risk when they enjoy a relatively smooth and easy, safe life where they currently are? Why should they relocate to a place where they will find themselves unsafe just because their partner is relocating there or insisting that they should relocate there? That remains a question that has to be answered, you know, and it is valid. When people do that, I think they have a strong reason, because life has no duplicate. So, Sister Sandra, before I get back to you, I just want to take the time out to welcome the Okagbe one of the universe who just joined us right now. I can see him. I'm going to have him on the stream and welcome him to the program. The Okagbe of the Universe, Monday Ohumume, is online with us right now, live on ESK. And the subject on tonight's program is why Edolites in the diaspora often relocate home to raise a family. I've been deliberating on that with Sister Sandra here, and I'm glad to welcome the Okagbe one of the UK to the discussion right now. Mr. Monday, welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. I greet the house. Very happy, very pleased to be with you.
You're welcome, brother.
Thank you very much. My great regards to all my sisters. They're not responding.
Hold on a second. I think Sister Sandra was off for a while. She's on now. Sister Sandra, the Okagbe is extending his greetings to you.
You are welcome, sir.
My sweet sister, I greet you.
Thank you, sir. You are welcome.
Thank you very much.
I'm trying to see if we are seeing it on live video somewhere else. I'm not seeing anything, sir.
Yes, you are. You are. It's live. I can see it on YouTube. It's on my phone here.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, it's live, sister. Don't worry about that, sister. You just go ahead and do what you doing.
Okay, like
we
what
are live
you were
and it's
saying,
on.
Sir.
Don't worry about that, sister. You just
like what you were saying before I went off, talking of security.
Yeah. Yeah.
It takes the grace of God to be secured. Man only contributes to security. If people that are, okay, I've seen many people saying they are working as security in America, they are this in America, they know how to protect. If we don't go home to go and teach them what we have learned, how can that security comes? We should go home to go and teach them. They said he who fights and run away needs to fight another day. Home is not secured, but we have our families there. If our children are not there, our parents are there. Our loved ones, our sisters, our brothers, they are there. If those of us living abroad that once was a security officer in Italian security agent, or in Spanish agent, or with American agent, if the tactics they learned from these security offices they've handled, if they don't go home to teach them, who will? We need to, that is what we need to think of. They said you can only lie on a beautiful bed when you make it beautiful. We cannot continue saying we are running away from home because there is no security. Who do we want to put that security for us? I always laugh when people living abroad are condemning those at home, saying what they felt. We are in our comfort zone, but we are not wanting to risk our life to go and teach them. If we don't, did we want Ghanaians to go to our country to put in place the security? Or did we want Americans to fly there to put security? They said when you are in Rome, act like a Roman. Anything you have learned, take it home to make a change. Thank you.
Yeah, all right, sister, got your point. Before I offer anything with regards to what you just said, I'm gonna invite the Okagbe of the universe to also throw some light on that, for us. Okagbe of the universe, over to you, sir.
No, Okagbe of the of UK.
Oh, not of the universe. Okay.
No, Okagbe of UK.
Just of the UK. All right.
Next month I'll perform the ceremony, then I'll be the Okagbe of the universe.
Okay. All right. Pending the ceremony, ladies and gentlemen, he's to be referred to as the Okagbe of the UK. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. You see.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. When we talk about security, I don't know which type of security we're talking about now. Is it the security? Is it the security for a household, or as for just a single family that just returned back to his country of abode or country of birth, or we're talking general security?
It's all of that, but it's emanating from the discussion we have in as to why Edolites find it, Edolites in the diaspora often find it, necessary to relocate home to raise another family. Sister Sandra talked about, some of the reason why that is very necessary. And then a question was put forward to her, which states that, means some people might not want to relocate back home with their partner for one reason or the others, And I wanted her to enumerate some of the reasons why some partners might find it impossible to relocate back home with their loved ones, with someone they love, with someone they got married to abroad, So there are a whole lot of reasons, that they might not want to do that. And she touched on them. And that's what brought us to the question of security. So you might want to take it up from there.
Thank you, Mr. Bobo. You see, and my moderator, you see, when we talk about relocating home, there are certain factors one needs to look into before before relocating more, or before I can discuss this issue, this particular topic. One is the issue that this migration of a thing to Nigeria is a new phenomenon. It's not up to about 35 years old that we who come from Nigeria or from Edo started migrating to Europe, America, and Asia countries. It's a new phenomenon. And that is why I welcome this forum, this discussion, this topic for us to discuss. Quite a number of times, most of our learned professor has not deemed it necessary to go into this and give us the way out. This migration of a thing started 35 years ago. There has been migration process before this 35 years old. Before this 35 years, which I just mentioned. But a lot of them, before then, they come here to study and go back to their country. And before they go, they get jobs line up waiting for them. They start with the National Youth Service Corps. Let me just take, for example, the Nigeria experience of it. But far back 35 years ago, a lot of them, both the literate and the illiterate, have been trooping down to Europe, America, Asia country for a good life. Some of them would even take the dangerous way through the Sahara Desert via the Mediterranean Sea to Europe, looking for a good life. Now, when they come...
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If I might interject a little bit, can we leave that for another time? And the history, I think a whole lot of people are pretty much used to it. Why? I know we know the background. I know you want to set the background as to why it happens, but for for time constraint and all that, we want to know exactly why the security thing is an impediment. Why is the security thing an impediment for people to relocate back home with their partners? Somebody they fell in love with here, somebody got married to here, and all of a sudden they said, no, I cannot relocate home with that person because of the security situation at home or for one reason or the other. So that is the core of what we want to get into, sir. I'm sorry to interject, but for time constraint, we need to really, just kind of, fixate on the question at hand and deal with that as shortly and as compact as possible so we can move on swiftly. Sorry that.
If you just want us to just translate to just the security aspect of it when they are back in Nigeria, that I'm going to take. But the story or what I'm trying to say, I will not be able to have empirical backings to our own claim. But then, be that as it may be, is that the security situation in Nigeria at the moment, again, I will have to go back, cut it back to just some years back. If I may draw these years back, it's just of recent. Let's say, can I say 2 years time? Because ever since, security has been a problem especially in Edo. In the 1980s, 70s, we heard about armed robbers. We heard about one saga robbery that took place, the Anini, and armed robberies all over. But of recent, they have graduated from that armed robbery, that is meeting people at home with guns to rob or rape a woman, a married woman, in the presence of the husband. That is quite serious. Those are problems. Because this thing has been graduating from stages, right from the time from them Omo Okunwa, those that went to rob the mother of Ogbemudia, to robbery Anini, the one we will know, to the point we have Oyenusi in Lagos. Then they've now graduated with the advent of ATM, what you call it, ATM cards. A lot of people now are aware they don't normally keep their money in the house, they keep it in the bank. Coupled with the fact of problems that there is unemployment in Nigeria. This security of a thing is inwardly, within the family. The people that will take people out to outsider to come and rob you, they are different. That is one problem. And secondly, your mode of operation. If you do business, they see you, the kind of business you do is another problem. Then they see you, maybe the type of car you drive is another problem. Then there are the type of robbery, another security threat again, from the peer group, people you grow up with in the street. So it's a whole lot of problem. But of recent, the one that has just gone saga now is that they've now added kidnapping to it as a result of the advent of technology. That is, nobody keep money in the house. The next thing now is to steal human being. And this thing gone haywire since 2014, if I remember, because I'm so conversant. I go to Nigeria all the time. I know all this. So, be that as it may be, let us look at it now to those in diaspora relocating to security. The problem here is what I've enumerated with my empirical, the background, that the way you look, the way you keep yourself, the way you exhibit your worth, bring attention to this security. It is not safe First of all, no electricity. Once it's 7 o'clock, the whole place is dark. Everybody leaves the street. Then more so, their lifestyle. You can find somebody build a house, a bungalow, he will just fence it up. When an armed robber or criminal sneak into such a building, they will do all what they want to do without the next door neighbor knowing what is happening. Then this have been the problem with them. Even where you have the next door neighbor, those ones will not come out because they will be a target. They will be, their life is not safe. Then I don't know if you permit me to mention the government intervention here. The police, we know that from time about 40 years ago, you call the police when you are being attacked. When the armed robbers or the criminals have done with the victim, after about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, the police will come. And the police will even need some money before they can go into investigation, not even to catch the robber or the criminal on the spot. So when you look at it,
all right, sir.
Truly,
yes, sir.
Truly, the security situation in Nigeria is worse.
All right, sir. We can understand all of that, but the question still remains, as Sister Sandra was saying, home is home. And if you don't do it, who's going to do it for you and all that? Should that deter people from relocating back home with their partners? That remains the question I want y'all to really look into. Should that be enough? Because as bad as things may be in that country, we have on the upward of 1 to 200 people still living day to day, in that country, and life is still moving on, So I want y'all to go into that. But just before then, I want to welcome our Sister Fairley, to the program. She just got here. She's a little late, Sister Fairley. We're happy to have you on the program. So welcome, Sister.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone.
Sister Fairley.
You are welcome.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm a bit late. My excuses.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Your Kaiba is going to charge you something later for that, because
no problem.
He knows how to deal with all of that,
No problem. It's all right.
All right. So
Mr. Okegbe, I apologize.
We just
a bottle of brandy.
All right. So, that's so good. It appears that we have lost Sister Sandra. She's no more with us, but I think she's going to reconnect again a little bit. There might be some technical issue there. Oh, she is back. Hold on a second. I'm going to add that to... all right, Sister Sandra is here. Sister Sandra? All right, Sister Fairley is here, Sister.
You are welcome, Sister.
Sister Sandra.
Thank you, Sister Sandra.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm a bit late.
All right.
No, you are not late. Just start from where you see us.
All right, thank you.
All right. Before Sister Sandra came aboard and we lost Sister Fairley, before she came aboard and we lost Sister Sandra for there, Okagbe was talking about the security issues in Nigeria, giving us the background of it and, also what is transpiring now, when it started, how it became this bad, you know. But the question still remains, like I was asking, is that should all of these security issues that we are experiencing in the country deter people from still relocating back home with their partners? That is something, whether you know that is trending, you know, especially for Edolites diaspora. They find it very, very necessary to relocate back home with their partners. And when the partner refuses to do that, they still relocate anyhow and start another family at home, which is the subject we are on the program for today. Why Edolites often relocate home to raise another family. You know, so that core question, I want y'all to actually deal with it. You know, they relocate home to start another family. Why? For what reason? Sister Fairley, you just came in, so we would like your own take on that question.
Okay, thank you. My opinion is no matter what we are doing over here, home is home. And one day, it's everybody's wish to go back home safely and sound. On the question of many people going home without their family here, I believe it's the right thing to do if it's possible. And it depends on the situation about his wife, his partner, or her partner here. It depends on them. If the woman is prepared to go back home with him, no problem. If not, and the man wants to go, then I think it's a good idea for him to start another family back home. And why? Because we are here right now. We have houses there. We have we've invested a lot back home. If the children here refuse or the wife refuse to go home, the man has to start another family there to carry on the legacy over there. That's my own point.
So why cannot? Yeah, thank you, sister. So why? Yeah, just a second, Mr. Kagbe. You know, they have to. You say they have to start another legacy back home if the children they have abroad do not want to relocate home with them, right? So
yes.
Why is that? Is this due to some traditional pressure, or one world? We live in one world. If you have a child here and you have somewhere in Nigeria, your child can have access to property and your legacy can be continued anywhere in the world. You know, we live in a global village right now. So
yes.
Is this some traditional pressure, or is this some kind of customary thing that we are so used to that we must, pay obeisance to or obey? Mr. Okagbe. Okagbe, one of the UK.
What my sister, Madam Felicia, just said is not did not go down well with me. That is, whether either by hook up the man or the woman can go home to start another family, which I don't think is just all that easy to do. I don't know if you agree with me on that. What we are saying here is that if you go home, for example, there's a problem. You bring up children. Children now know Western culture. And you want to go home, the children say, oh, there is security challenge. We are talking about security, a situation whereby you can get a job. A situation where you invest in business in Africa and the business does not go well. It's security as well, isn't it? So they will not. I quite understand what Madam Felicia is saying that when you get to go home, that oh wow, want to go home, and the family doesn't want to go, and the man doesn't want to go to old people's home. He doesn't want to be buried abroad. Then the man can go. That in a situation where they go, you cannot expect a man in our own culture, like those cultural values, a man to bend down to be grinding pepper or pounded yam to look for food for himself. That not go well. Those are her background in coming with such a situation. I try to go back to 35 years, 40 years of migration so that we can analyze this issue. This is a new problem. This is a culture in our Edolites, but the moderator refused it. This is where we find ourselves. We have a problem. Going back home is quite different. More or less, we now look at ourselves, those West Indians, those in the Caribbean. That is how our life now looks like. Or we don't find solution to it. There is no need for us now to be trying to dodge away from it, that we're not much different from the Caribbean. We're not on the migrants. A lot of people are complaining that slaves to the northerners in Nigeria. More or less, we are classical slaves, Europe or America. This is a situation, Mr. Moderator, can you tell me on one issue whereby you find a man who have lived here for about 25, 30 years, and that man will go home with his wife and children to go and relocate in Edo or Nigeria? Have you ever seen any? Unless those that are deported.
That's not exactly true. You know, if you no, that's not. That is not exactly true, because there are a lot of people who do that, whether you know it or not. People are still, excuse me, it's not giving you a specific example. I have a family member who did that. So, but if you're comfortable enough, if you're resourceful enough, if you have everything that you need to get yourself secured in the way that you want in Nigeria, you can relocate with your family, you know, and that has so a few people that I know, quite a few. So I mean that can happen. But in any case, that is not exactly that. Yeah, but do I have to give details to you about my family members now? Of course not. But the point is that you are deviating from exactly what it should be right now. What we want to know is, I mean, the reasons that people are actually doing it. That's what you don't understand. We are telling you, people are doing it right now. People relocate home to start a new family. Sister Sandra talked about it. Sister some of the reasons why they might be doing it to secure. Hold on a second, to secure. Kagwe, to secure their legacy. Sister Fairly said, you know. Sister Sandra also is of the general opinion that home is home, and that whatever we learn here, we should be able to go back home and impart on the society. And if security is the problem, we should take what we learn here to impact the security issues back home and make sure it is better to our comfortability. So let's keep subject in perspective exactly how it is, and not through jibes from background of 50 years ago. Another question that I want to really put forward to you guys that nobody has touched on yet is the cultural reasons behind it, because there might be some cultural reasons, and Sister Sandra already mentioned that briefly, and I want you to run that. She said I don't know how you said it again, Sister Sandra. You said something like that, you know.
Can I come in
is
again?
that hold on a second, I'll put it forward to you, sister. You were saying, but is that a cultural thing? Is that a traditional thing? Is there a traditional reason to that? So you might want to throw some light on that, Sister Sandra, so we can move this on exactly how it should be. Sister Sandra, please.
What I said was that you are welcome, Sister Felicia.
Yeah, thank you.
You are welcome, and every other post there, you are welcome. What I said was that there is a name I value so much while I was in Nigeria.
Yes.
And that name was given to a child born abroad, whom the parents later relocated to Nigeria. Igi Wijisi.
Yeah.
Igi Wijisi.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was trying to remember. Go ahead.
That name gave me the input to always put it in my head that no matter how long I stay abroad, one day I must find my way home. That name is a prayer that one can easily relate to. Igi Wijisi, Ugu Wijisi.
All right.
You can never get lost in a foreign land. I can never get lost in a foreign land. And what I want to really put in is that majority or 100% or 99% of us from Edo State living anywhere abroad, anywhere in diaspora, we walk like giants. We walk like elephants to put something back home, to have homes, to have businesses. The majority of us are still here. How can you be a landlord in Nigeria and a tenant abroad? I know majority of them are landlords abroad and landlords in Nigeria. Let's take it this way. There are some certain age, you know, when one is in the process of growing in life, we don't think of the end of life. Nobody wants to say I will die tomorrow. 10 years ago, I wasn't I was stronger than how I am today. When I came to Italy, though I have children, I was very young. After 28 years, you cannot expect my life to still be the way it was when I came. All this while, many of us have been working, putting things back home. Who are those that are going to enjoy those things we put back home? I begin to wonder, when people die, people will pay thousands of euros to take their corpse home to be buried. Can anyone tell me whoever planned of building a house in Nigeria to later be a cemetery for her or him? No. No one want to build a house and pray when I die they will come and bury me there. Today I heard of I was called of a lady that is very sick here now. The lady has 4 flats in Nigeria and she's very sick here. The family are already sharing her properties over there because she have no child yet, though she's advanced in age. Of all her labor, what is her gain? To me, if she had gone home to even sleep 2 years, 5 years before she dies, she has achieved the aim of building a house back home. What I want people to remember, when we are getting old, when we can no longer do anything for ourselves, our children born here, they're already living like the people we met here that don't have respect for old age. When you are old, you become a burden to them. The best thing they would say they do for you is to take you to old people's home. Old people's home, how many of us can really pay for that at old age? How much have we saved for that? For me, when you go back home, God has so blessed our country or those states that we have sunlight throughout the year. Here, many of us that have lived here for longer years are having one or two health issues. But the moment you go back home, when you are living under that heat, all those accumulated cold in the body will get met. When I went home for the first time was when I now realized why people from abroad always go about with a towel. But many people at home felt it's fancy. But the people go about with towel to clean their sweat. Those accumulated cold. Okay. In your first 2 weeks of landing in the country, you will see how the heat will be coming out. Apart from that, we are living on fertilizers, the food we eat. But back home, you have natural food to live on. You have your families that will surround you. Epa was talking of age group. To me, remember where you grew up. Don't normally be where you go when you go back home. For me, where I grew up wasn't where I went to when I went back home. The area I find myself wasn't where I grew up. Many people, I don't know them. I don't even know the area before, but that was the area my house was built in. So what I always say, and I don't want to offend anybody, is like those of us, majority of us that have little money are the one afraid that the thieves will come and rob us. There are people richer than us in that Nigeria that are still living fine. Majority of us living abroad, we are just carrying the name Acaterian, but in the real pocket, we are not Acaterian. Most of these family people we fear, they are richer than us. They pretend by taking from us. Hence, we felt we are richer. The only pride we have is that we came from abroad. For me, going back home is the best decision anybody can take when you are getting older. It is better to die in your father's land, in the land of your birth, than dying abroad. People will now want to gather money to be saying, contribute. We don't want to bury this person here. We don't want the person to lose here. If one is able to stay here till he dies, our Nigeria should not be a cemetery for anybody. So for me, going back home, and I pray and I continue to work for it, one day I must go back home. Thank you. Okay.
Can I come in?
Sister Faye, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Sister Sandra. From what you said is also what I believe in. For example, Mr. Okagbe, for example, or Mr. Moderator, if you are married to a white woman here, all your children here, and you are the only son of your father, and your father left you, let's say, 2 houses, and your junior ones back home, all daughters are married, and that family home, you are the owner of that family home. What is going to be your next step after spending maybe 20 or 25 years in this place, in diaspora? Are you going to just keep quiet or just keep calm and stay here till all your years? How is the family going to feel back home? Coming to abroad doesn't mean that you should forget about where you are, where you come from, your traditions, your customs. Because here you are in Italy, I'm here in Holland, Mr. Kagbe, Belgium, Mr. UK, they have cultures here also. They have. We've abandoned our home. We've abandoned our people. We've abandoned our tradition. We've abandoned our customs. It's not right. If, for example, all your children are here and you want to go back home tomorrow, for example, you are going back, let's say 2 years' time, and the children here, they're maybe 20, 23 years, 30, 25, and they say, Dad, I want to go with you. Mom, I'm not going with you. And then what are you going to do as your next step? Are you going to stay here and be looking at them? Because when immediately they are 18, they are no longer, they don't have your time. When they are 20, they don't have your time. Are you going to stay here and be looking at them till they are 45? No, of course not. What I believe in is this: if for husband and wife, if they are not so selfish, if the wife is not so selfish, I think the wife will talk to the husband and tell him, plan back home. The children at home will now have connection with the ones here, and with time, we bring these ones back home. And when you, the father, is at home, you will use the opportunity to say, come home on holiday, I'm home. They will come and maybe they will meet somebody home. That's what I believe in. Is if you are not selfish, if the wife is not selfish or self-centered, individual differences. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude here, but I'm just trying to be to face facts, to be realistic. So if the woman is not selfish, because some women will say, oh, no, we are here, we stay here, I have children here. Well, tomorrow you are old, the children will just put you back in the old people's home. You build mansions in Nigeria, you build businesses back home. Who is going to manage it? If, for example, you sleep tomorrow and you don't wake up, and then what's going to be? Your family members. Always have it in your mind. Whatever you are doing, you are leaving it down there for your family members, not for your children. Your struggles, they are for your family members. Your efforts, they are for your family members. But if as a brilliant woman or as an intelligent woman, if in my own personally, I will advise my husband to take a wife back home. Those children in future, I'm going to link up with these ones here, and maybe 50%, if not 70%, these ones here will now relocate home, not relocate, at least have interest back home. And those ones at home will now be able to tell these ones here, this is daddy's place, this is grandfather's place.
All right, sister, I got your point. But do you think, so we can move this on, do you think relocating home to start another family is something that everyone of us in the diaspora should be doing? All Edolites, in the diaspora, something that they should actually consider doing because of the points you just raised. Do you think that is something that they should be doing?
It depends. For example, you have children back home before you travel abroad. For example, you have 3 children or 2 back home, then you don't have to, because there are other children at home already.
Suppose you don't. Suppose you don't. You don't have any children back home.
Yeah, suppose you don't. Advise you go home. Individual differences anyway, but personally, I'll prefer he goes home, and that's the truth.
Okay, so you don't. Okay, so heard what Sister Sandra said. What's your take on that? The advice is to go home. If you have children there already, that might not be something to be pushed upon. But if you don't have children there already and you have some children here abroad as well, what about if those children don't want to relocate home with you? So then what? Okay, but
yeah, let me just chip in this. They have really tried. I will first of all, I would like to that
your mic is breaking. Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to start with Martin's assertion that the same people who pronounced that proverb said, "Oh, Ikyogbe." That is the assertion of same people.
Excuse me.
Who made?
Okay, say it again. Say it again, because your mic was breaking when you said that.
My mic is okay. I'm just out there. I'm to respond to Madam Imwetinya, who said those have it in a parable, in a saying that we see. So in responding to
yes.
I want to say that same people, the Edo people who said said they said economically or Ikyogbe. You understand? So what we are seeing is that they've been judging from the past. They've been judging. They've been going around the circle. The problem here is that
go ahead.
This section which we are so when we find ourselves in migration. I've had your picture a lot of people, especially in Italy where Madam Imwetinya lives. All what they are saying, especially the men, they will want to go home. Then raise it with 5,000 naira daily. That woman will put them for in Europe. That is one side. Then secondly,
we didn't hear him. The mic is breaking.
The mic is having. Yeah, there's some glitches. Kai, but you got some glitches on your mic. You know.
Want me to repeat? The same.
Yeah, it's breaking.
We are not hearing.
Your one is breaking too.
Yeah, but we hear each other here clearly, and you probably don't hear us because you have some technical issues.
Where do you want me to start from now?
We heard up to the point where. All right.
Okay.
There's still this problem.
And I
yeah.
Understand? Hello.
Yeah, okay, man. You have an issue with the mic, man. There's something going on. Yeah, we can hear you, but it breaks up, intermittently. Yeah, I can. Yeah, it's good. It's good now.
Madam Imwetinya position that a position that Igi Wuyisi, and I said is in responding to her, I'm not saying that in Benin tradition, the same Benin tradition who said Igi Wuyisi said economically or Ikyogbe. So the two ladies, they've been judging from the real fact. I've had opportunity of interacting with a lot of men in Europe and America, especially most of the men in Italy, where Madam Imwetinya lives. they told me that they would like to go back to Benin and resettled, that they don't want to die in Europe, that once they get home, they're a younger woman, and that with 5,000 naira daily, that woman will cook the best food for them and look after them properly. That the children raised in Europe are not prepared. They will not look after you as an elderly, both women position, that the women born here, raised in Europe and America, will not look after their parents when they are aged, compared to the way they will look after them when they are in Nigeria, when they didn't come here. That when you are sick and when raised in Europe get to know of it, all they can do is to help you make a phone call to your doctor to come and help you. They will not even come. They may come later if you have a lot of properties for them to inherit. That there is no much love, no much bond between the children raised here, born and raised here in Europe, and the children born and raised in Africa. Are you hearing me?
All right. Yeah, we hear you clearly. So, what is your view now? What is your view? You're telling me what you found out. You're telling me what you found out on there. Do you? Yeah.
My view, my position.
Yes. What's your point of view on it?
The two ladies said that. The two ladies said that they would like to go home. Madam Felicia said, in case if you are a man, you inherited 2 properties. If you don't go, you lose that 2 properties. My question to her is, what of if you leave your age and you die? Will you then come and look at the properties? That's one question.
Mm-hmm.
Then number 2. No, wait a minute. Ladies have been dodging from the real question. That is, will it be nice for the man to go home? Because in most cases, the men want to go home. And in most cases, the women don't want to go with the man. It's a situation if the women go with the men to relocate back to Nigeria or Edo State, life, all matters settled, all things forgiven. But a situation where they refuse and the man goes home and get another girl or look after him, what happens? So the whole situation is just that we are in the dark.
Okay, Mr. Okagbe, you asked me a question.
A program like this.
Can I? Mr. Okagbe, you just asked me a question. No. Okay, thank you. When I said 2 properties, it doesn't really mean buildings. Properties, maybe your family lineage. Your family lineage. That's what I'm trying to say. Your roots, your family lineage. Now, for example, now that you are here, you are here now, you are in the UK there. If tomorrow you don't have nobody back home, and if eventually your children now start getting married to Indian men in UK, and from there the Indian woman will not take your children to India one of these days. Where is your lineage going? It has nothing to do with maybe two-story building or flats. No, that's not what I meant. What I meant is your lineage, your properties, your lineage, your inheritance. Are you there? Is off. So that's what I'm trying to.
I'm here.
Okay. That's what I said. Your lineage. That's what I meant. And if, for example, now your children will say, Dad, I'm in love with a Jamaican man. Dad, I'm in love with an Indian man or Indian woman, and they all got married to Jamaican and to Indian people. Where is your lineage going? That is number one. If I say properties, it's just like your lineage, houses, you said Okagbe, the name of Okagbe, you know what that means? Okagbe means head of the family. If the head of the family now leaves, come and stay Europe and stay here all his life, who are you going to Okagbe over back home? That is number one. So your lineage is what I'm trying to say. And for those men and women that are planning to go home, for example, me, just as like Sister Motian said, home is home. If I have my children here, I don't have children back home. I have my children here. They're all here. But I believe if I go back home tomorrow, in the process of coming to visit me, you might never know. They might meet somebody they love back home. But if I decide to stay here, that opportunity will not come up. But as for the man, if your wife is here and your wife wants to go back home with you, there's no need of doing no need of getting married to another woman back home because she's willing to go back home. Don't get me wrong. But if the woman says, oh, I don't want to go back home yet, I want to stay here, and you demand, you are almost 70 years, or you are 65 or 60 or 63, you believe you want to say, I'm tired, I'm really, really tired, I want to go back home. Then getting a new wife and starting a new family, even if it's a child, one child or two, is enough. And make your wife understand also. It should be a combined effort. It's not like making problem of it and just no, taking off. No, you should call her. It should be a combined effort. So that's what I meant when I said it's not about house. When you die, you leave your house. Even if you have a mansion, Awolowo is dead. Awolowo died. People died. But what I meant is your lineage. That if there's any hope, if there's any hope of us going back home, and those children that you have here, if you don't have anyone back home, according to the moderator, if you don't have anyone back home, excuse me, please. If you don't have anyone back home, and if they're all here, as a man, maybe if you talk to your wife or your partner, you can make another two there. Those two there will now help you bring this one here a little back home, if not 100%. At least they will always know my brother is there, my sister is there. That is if you don't have at home at all. And it should be a combined effort for the man and the wife. That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you.
All right, Kagbe, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, but you can go ahead and respond to
but based on Madam Felicia just made the point based on the Edo tradition and values that having stayed here, a man can go back or Africa to raise another family, to look after him, to take over the inheritance. The inheritance may not be the properties. The inheritance may be the virtue of your position. Like she said Okbe. So I quite understand her view. She seems to be confusing. Contributing a solution to the predicament to find ourselves with migration. Well done, madam. The problem is one, the house, the properties you mentioned, like if Madam Kate was here today, she once said in one of my shows that the children keep saying, what is this bolo, bolo, bolo? Sell them and take the money and put into the bank and give to the children, because it is a no fact that the children we raise in Europe, they will not go back to Africa and continue life after you. You don't blame them. They don't have childhood friends to live with. Even you, the elderly person who is aging, wants to go home. You've lost most of your friends, your childhood friends. Even in the family, very few will come near you when they have a lot to tap from you, a lot to get from you, a lot to scunch on you. We are in a different. It would have been better if the government we have back home can at least give us the basic infrastructure, whereby when we go home, like Madam Felicia, Madam Emotinya said, she has a property. Everybody said they have properties back home where they can continue their life, build their empire based on Europe perspective. That is all basic amenities are all there. Maybe that will encourage the kids, the children, to come home when they do have problems. But right now, as it is, this forum, I'm more than happier to make it, to produce solutions to the problems we find ourselves in. It's not easy. Having said, like my personal self you are talking about now, 40 years in Europe, going back home, I have done. Sometimes I stay a year in Nigeria and come again. I'm more or less like a Nigerian and British.
Okay.
But people do that opportunity. Go ahead.
All right. Okay, but yeah. All right. Okay, but yes, Sister Sandra. Hold on a second. I got your point. You know, and I'm happy with the points that you guys are raising about the issue, but the question still remains that I would like y'all to actually knock down for everybody watching and listening, you know. Is this something that should actually be done? You know, because there's a conflict there with the two parables. We see you know, so you have two conflicting cultural and a traditional parable that drives fundamental core belief system, you know, as Edolites or as the Edo people, you know, we see that is strong. That is also very so. If you put those two, just oppose them, right? There's a conflict in our psychic already with those tools. How do you reconcile both of them in our present day? You know, to be meaningful in our ways of life, still respecting our traditional values. Either Kaibe or Sandra, either of you can take this.
If I may, you know, our age, myself, yourself, Madam yourself, with complete is okay, in the sense that all her children are in Nigeria. She refused to bring her children to Europe, so she's out of the equation. The problem now,
all right,
is you,
sisters,
we find ourselves in this quagmire. You understand?
The quagmire. Yeah, go ahead.
So we find solutions to sort ourselves. From now on, anybody raising children should be able to raise their born a child, send the pikin, go home.
Yeah, but can't you raise?
Not from us anymore. We make a mistake. Send that pikin, go home.
All right.
Okagbesa. Okagbesa, can I come in?
Go home.
Sister Sandra, go ahead. Sister Sandra, go ahead.
Like what I was saying, that name a Padme mention of is a name for failures. Ekeno mama or Idiope. Degan or Rimae, Egan Idiope. That how many children do bear or Idiope? How many children do bear that name? That name Ekeno mama Idiope is a name for failures. Why is it that when people die?
Wow, I'm learning something new right now. Are you sure of that? Because that's a strong Benin parable, you know. So how can you actually say that is for failures? You know, what are your core reasoning? What are your core reasoning for saying that?
Okay. My reasons for saying this are: if Ekeno mama Igiobe means anywhere you find yourself, make it your home. Good and fine. But they are for failures. People that didn't plan for their.
But sister, I'm sorry, I got to interject there because I think you're missing, because if I understand the parable correctly, if it cannot my way, that means already good for you. How can you be a failure if that place is good for you? If you're successful in that place.
No, you let me explain myself.
Hold on, let her talk.
Ekeno mama Igiobe does not make you to live and die there. It is for you to take from there the goods you have learned there, the good things that you have acquired there, to take it to your home. If Ekeno mama or Igiobe to remain there to die, why is it that when people die abroad, the majority of them are taken back to their home of origin? Their corpses are taken back to their homes of origin. For me, Ekeno mama Igiobe, anybody that takes that and decided to live and die in a foreign land is a failure. Yes.
Okay, that's your view. That's your point of view.
We should not be looking at this way in one way. There is never any of us living abroad that are not homesick. No one, no matter how bad your because there is no money. Because there is no money.
Okay, Sister Sandra, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, hold on a second. The Okagbe, where are you? Okagbe, where are you? Let me tell you, let me put this for Okagbe. Where are you? Hold on. You got to be with us now. Stay close. Listen, Sister, Sister Sandra, hold on. Listen. Sister Sandra just said, and the parable that you came up with, Ekinomagili or Igiobe, that is for failures. So if you believe in that, Mr. Okagbe of the UK, if you believe that you got to be a failure, are you a failure? Yeah, I want you to respond to Sister Sandra.
Wrong. She needs to go to the palace, and there is difference between
Are you
and for her to go to the palace to
yeah.
The worst of the elders we are great philosophers.
Let me come in. Epa. Oma Magele don't kuseba. You IGC is a prayer. IGC a prayer no. That is why I love Igbo culture. Any Igbo man that dies abroad, I always flew home.
Flown home, but it's okay. But listen,
the people will die for meditation.
That was the death on that condition. They died on that condition. It was not their making. It was not their decision to die there.
Home is home.
Okay, Epa, why did you always go home?
Oh God.
Okay, all right. With that viewpoint, Okagbe, Sister Sandra just asked you, then why do you always go home? Since Igogbe were my one, why you home?
Say again.
Sister Sandra said, she asked you a question. Why do you always go home if you hold that perspective that you're holding on to right now? Why do you always go home? Your mic, man, your mic. We got a problem with your mic. Okay, go ahead.
Our children do not. This is the problem we have.
They will leave.
I want to go home, but my children will not go.
They will.
They will not go.
They will.
It depends on the story you are telling them.
May I come in, please, Mr. Okagbe? If that's what I said earlier. Obiera be ton wa mwe pa. Obiera ton wa mu.
Do you know what?
Your step brother.
Yeah, Felicia. Yeah. Moderator. Wait 1 second, just 1 minute. You see, the only I have seen children abroad and they all return back home.
First of all, Epa, can your children speak Edo?
They came here.
Can your children speak Edo language? Do you know that there is nothing like relating back home? I was opportune to watch the video of Esama of Benin. Esama of Benin, the birthday he did. He took the family back to Okada.
One position that her children, all in Nigeria, that she refused them coming to Europe. Ask her. So she's not the one to even discuss this matter.
Why not?
It's because all of your children reside in Nigeria, but I don't think so. Is that true?
I have a child here.
Yeah.
I have a daughter here. Yeah. First of all, I have a child here.
The only person who is proposing solution to this problem at this Waka Minor is.
So what is
have not finished my statement. Should I continue? Mr. Moderator.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Okay. Go ahead, Sister Sandra. Go ahead.
Do you know what baffles me? Immediately we leave our home to travel abroad, we are filled with pride, thinking that abroad is better. How many white men live in Nigeria and died there? How many? Are they not coming back to their base? I have many reverend fathers who went to different African countries as a reverend father. Immediately they cannot do anything. They are all back to their home base. I'm still saying it that no mama Idiogbe, anyone that refuses to go home is a failure. Because your home is your home, no matter what. We always believe that those of us living abroad, we are far better than those of them at home. We are not better than. We all grew from that place.
That's not true. That's not true. That is not true.
We are not better than them. The only thing in life is sleep.
Nobody's better than anybody. Location don't matter.
Better. So we should not be thinking that they are all. We should not be thinking every negative thing concerning them. When we go home, they will kill us. I have a uncle. I have an uncle, though he's late now. When I was growing up, he was in that UK. He later relocated back with his family, and he lived up to 80-something years before he died. We should not be thinking of negativity. We are all enjoying the benefit of the countries we are. The people suffer to put it in place. Let us learn something here and take it back home. We can't just stay abroad. A time will come, our children will be like the lost generation. Where we left them here abroad will not be their home. To relocate back to their home, they will not. I saw a video of some Americans that went to Nigeria to find out if they are from there, and some went to Ghana. Why is it so? Their parents were forcefully taken over there or not. But their generations now are relocating, finding their roots back. As a pastor, he made mention of majority of us failed to teach our children. We may not be thinking of our own children now. We will be talking to the younger ones that are coming, that are going to start families. And the part made mention of some people here in Italy saying they want to relocate back. Good and fine. Majority of children born here in Italy can speak Edo language. Majority of children born here in Italy are having Edo names. It depends on the story you told your children. I remember when my daughter went with me home for the first time, she never wanted to return back because of what she saw. We cannot be portraying negativity there when we are here enjoying what other people suffer.
All right, sister Sandra. All right, sister, I heard you, but I'm gonna interject and let you know that there's a difference between projecting negativity and speaking the reality of what is actually happening on the ground. And you cannot blame people for being. Hold on a second, sister. Sister. If we talk over, nobody's gonna hear us. So one after the other, please. One after the other. If we talk over each other, nobody's gonna hear anything we're saying. So let's do it perfectly and in harmony. All right. Okay, but hold on a second. Why is okay to not portray our own place in a negative light? But the truth, okay, but hold on a second. That's all good, but the reality also has to be portrayed. We have to be realistic. People are fearful, and there's a reason why they're fearful. So we have to understand that, but all in all, relocating back home is still something that has to be done for a whole lot of people because they feel that going back home to maintain their to contribute to one way or the other is a must for them. But should we blame those people who also have the right not to want to do that? Should we accustomed blame to them? Should we castigate them? Is that something that should be done? So that's where I want y'all to pick up on. Sister Fairley, now, Sister Fairley. Yes, Sister Fairley, go ahead. Should we blame? Don't want to. Hold on, back there, Sister Fairley, go ahead.
To blame the parents, you mean? To blame the parents.
To blame the parents, and who don't want to like take their children back home or relocate with the children back home. They feel comfortable where they are. Should you blame them?
No. This is not a matter of blame.
Sister Sandra just called them. But Sister Sandra just called them losers, want to relocate back home, and you want to get lost in a foreign place. That is for losers.
Yes, I agree with Sister Sandra to a point, but we can't blame parents.
Mm-hmm.
We can't blame anybody if you don't want to take your children back home, because why? The society back home is not stable. Nobody will want to go and put their children into where it's not stable. That is number one. But they should have it at the back of their minds that if things get better, because Nigeria is not going to be like that. When things get better, they should have it at the back of their minds that let me try and be taking my children home more often. Or if you, the man or the wife, want to migrate back home, go back home and make sure and try to talk to your children. They will come and visit all the time. In that process, they will integrate. I want to go and see mom. I want to go and see dad. They will integrate. If, for example, they come often, they might meet somebody they fall in love with, and life goes on from there. Our children, if we don't talk about it now, if we don't do anything about it now, it's going to be a lost generation. If my daughter marries a Turkish man, for example, or my son marries Indian girlfriend, they have children together, where are my grandchildren going to? Where are my great-great-grandchildren going to tomorrow? So it's better for us to start working and talking about it. Just what I said before. If a man goes back home, if it's a planned effort with the wife, go back home, get another wife, maybe 2 children. Those children try and make them talk to each other once, often, they will connect. Obiara beri yobonoma. Obiara betoma bagbe we mama bagbe. Obiara besioma bagbe. So we shouldn't, this mentality that we have here with the West, we that are here in diaspora, I would think one man, one wife is good. It's very, very nice. But with this situation, the solution is let your man or go home with your husband or take your children home. Don't let your children be lost in the world. Don't let us lose our children, lose our generation to come. We should talk about it. We should tackle it. It's getting out of hand. It's really, really getting out of hand. So that is my own, no blames for now. I'm not blaming anybody.
Okay.
But we should work towards getting them home one way or the other. If they're not going home permanently, if you are home, they can come to you, or if they have brothers back home, they can easily come to their brother once in a while. Then they integrate. They might stay home. We shouldn't just say they are not coming, they are not coming, they are not coming. Nigeria is not going to be like this forever. It's not going to be like this forever. It's going to get better. And once it gets better, they will start coming back home. If not permanently, but at least they know papa is there, or mother is there, or my auntie is there.
All right.
Take your children home often for visits.
All right.
So they can know other family members. Yes.
Thank you, Sister Fairley.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Sister Fairley. Sister Fairley is not trying to blame nobody, but Kaigbe, yes, I want you to respond to this because I want this to be a little bit explosive here. You know what I mean? Sister Sandra said those who do not participate in trying to get their families back home. And the parable that you recounted are for losers. So, Okaigbe, you are in the category of losers right now, because if you hold on to that parable in accordance with the perspective of Sister Sandra, you are in the categories of losers. Are you a loser, Mr. Okaigbe? Go ahead. Okagbe 1, go ahead.
Yes, I subscribe to what Madam Fisher said. But Madam Fisher is not saying the aftermath of such a decision. Madam Felicia may be sending the man who does such a thing to agree. I still stand by my parable that it cannot marry.
Now you're breaking off, man.
He needs to go to the palace of Benin to dispute it. A lot of people died in war. A lot of people died in the Mediterranean.
Okay, listen, I heard you. I'm going to give you a little time for Sister.
A lot.
All right. Sister Sandra.
My suggestion is down. Let me finish. Our generation got it wrong. For any intending migrant coming to Europe or America, take your property or intend to go and become prince or a Nogi or Oba of Benin. When to Benin City,
we still have problem with your connection, man.
Look after the time.
All right, listen, we having a lot of problem with the Okaigbe's mic, and the connections is fluctuating, and I'm gonna go to Sister Sandra. Sister Sandra.
Thank you very much.
You heard what the Okaigbe was trying to say, right? But see, this whole issue is very explosive, the contradiction between both parables, and I quite understand where Sister Felly was coming from, because she's being realistic here. Sister Felly is being realistic, we want to take our children back home, but ain't no man wants to take his child to a place where he perceived to be unsafe for dwelling. We have to understand that. And I can understand her point of view with that. That is realism. That is realistic, because that's the fact on the ground. But shouldn't we be dealing with the aspect of security in the country that is making it impossible for people to even consider taking their families to a place that they feel is not safe for dwelling? I know, Sister Sandra, that you mentioned before that, people live there, there are people there and all of that. Well, yes, they are. But these people, when you're used to something, right, you feel more comfortable with the whole you are used to, and it'll be okay with you because you're used to it. But when you're not used to that, like for instance, children that was brought up and raised here, that were born and raised over here, you got to understand why they will have the apprehension, why they will feel so uncomfortable leaving their comfort zone and going to a place that they perceive to be unsafe. You got to understand that because that's reality. But having said that, how do we make sure we answer the question? That would be what we should be tackling. How do we answer that question that they may have, that question of insecurity? How do we make it clear to them that they can be safe? How do you make them safe in an unsafe zone? How do you do that, Sister Sandra?
Okay. Thank you very much. With due respect and not wanting to offend anybody, I said that name is a failure for those that refuse to go back home. Doesn't mean everybody must go back home. If anybody living abroad and you are homesick and you are afraid to go home and you didn't go, it's a failure. That is what I meant. A Pam make mention of Ekeno Mama Igiogbe. The same Edo that said Ekeno Mama Igiogbe still have a parable that says
Egili.
I know. The same Edo said Agadweki Owajo, Agajugbo Owajo. None of us plan our coming to live here forever when we are parting from home. That is where I base my argument on. Talking of the security, what made the country to be insecure? Is it not in the hands of people living abroad that were sponsoring politicians that make them to choose a half-dead man to be the president? Where is the insecurity coming from? Is it not?
No, there was insecurity before that. There were insecurity before the election of the current president, ma'am, to interject. There was insecurity problem.
Has been there because there was not insecurity before we all came abroad. We all grew there. We were not killed. It is when abroad problem came that insecurity started. I said it before. He who fights and run away needs to fight another day. How many of our governors studied abroad that are back home to become governors? If they decided to stay here forever, will they become governors? Was Obaseki not first of all in abroad? How many of our politicians?
Yeah, it was in New York. It was New York with me. I know.
So if the only way we can make our country better, it is not by deciding not to go home. That is what I meant. It is not by deciding. You cannot say because your country is bad, you want to remain in another man's land forever. If peradventure, the land you are now say everybody go, like what we did years back, Ghana must go. Where will you go to? So we should start thinking of that.
Your country.
I am not saying everybody must go back home. But the moment you are feeling that pain of not connecting home, of not going back home, that person will be a lost generation. It will be a failure on anybody that decided to go home. But because of fear of one thing or the other, he refuses to go home. I will want to die in my country. I will want to die in my land. That is my own. A person saying my children did not travel, that is what makes me. It's because, not because I couldn't bring any of them to abroad. I knew when I was coming to make money and later relocate home. And I still stood by that. If I have a child here, if she decided not to go with me, but she must always visit home. She must know the brothers and sisters at home. She must know the land she came from. That is the most important thing. No Edo man should say because Edo is bad today, your children will now get lost in a foreign land. Why is it that any Igbo people relocate? What makes a Yoruba man to decide to go back home? The same Nigeria, they are all going back. Why is Edo different? Edo where I just talking over. I just talking over. Agajugbo Owajo, Agadweki Owajo. Even this earth we are, we are not permanent here. One day we'll go back home. The problem, how we die doesn't matter. Where we die matters when we are getting old. Untimely death, we don't pray for.
Okay, Sister Sandra.
But when you are getting old, you need to go back.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I got your point. And I appreciate, you sticking to your guns on the point you're making. I understand where you're coming from now. You're not trying to say, nobody should, people who don't want to relocate home are all failures, but if they don't want to relocate home because they feel that security is a problem over there, then they're tantamount to them being a failure. That's your point of view, and I respect your point of view. But there's something before I move on. I have to clarify something because I don't want this to be said under my watch. Because you mentioned something that it is because people in the diaspora collectively sponsor the election of the current president. That's where our insecurity started. But I got to make that clear. That is not true at all, because our insecurity started way before this current president, and it has been there for a long time. And if I must, educate the people listening as to where our major problem, the current problem the country has now with insecurity, which emanated from economic problem, where it started with the structural adjustment program that was enacted by Babangida. That's where it all started, because before then, you didn't see a lot of people trooping to go abroad. People come abroad for studies and then they go back home, or even if they stay here, it's out of their own volition. It's not because there was some security problem in the country. We had some minor security problems before, during the military and all that, back in the 70s, nobody wanted to go abroad. Remember that. Everything was okay in the country. Nobody wanted to go abroad. If I can remember clearly, I was still little, but then, though I've spent, most of my life abroad, I still can remember that a lot of people were safe. They were doing well. Everything was, just as good as it is right now in most countries abroad. Everything was okay. The school system was perfect. You had all of the infrastructures in place to make you have a good feeling about the place you dwell. But you got to understand that all of that now they are all unavailable in the country right now to a majority of people. Hence, the constant, upward movement to get out of the country and head north and keep heading north to find a better life, So, but that I just want to clarify that. Your point now is clear. You're not saying everybody who don't want to go home are losers. Fine. But how do you now encourage people? And that's a question you got to answer for you encourage them, people in the diaspora, that it's important for them to relocate back home, to keep their culture, to promote their own ways of life, to improve their country, even when security is a problem. How do you go about doing that? Because you got to understand, like Sister Felicia said, the security issue is a major concern. So with that in mind, with the security thing in mind, how do you go about convincing, encouraging them that it is the right thing to do? with that huge problem of security in mind. Sister Sandra, how do you go about doing that? And then Sister Fairley, you can probably jump in on that too.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for this question. There is insecurity in our country.
You're welcome.
Or in our state. It is not by running away that we will solve that insecurity. The insecurity there can be solved when I talk to my family, you talk to your family, this one talk to the family. We can start educating our people back home. Those people bringing insecurity, just of recent, the Fulani herdsmen started. And if even in this Fulani herdsmen, we are beginning to see that our families or our people are among them, are giving them helping hands. If we begin to educate our people, we begin to propose for our governors, not by criticizing them. Majority of people living abroad are ruling that those states with their mouth. They are ruling with their mouth. They are not really saying what will change the country there. If you have the money, find a way that you can help to restart like a place like Guinness, having shares that other people are creating businesses there that will help to employ our youth, our brothers and sisters. We should try to be planning. If you know you have a stubborn, those people that are bringing insecurity, they are from families. And majority of these people, of us here, majority of us here, mostly the men or boys, we are among those, we are like those people before their families flew them in. There were some that were about to be executed and they ran. There were some that were about to be killed by their fellow parties, and their people have to take them abroad. Since we are all living abroad, let us begin to talk with the people we know. Tell them the reasons why they should live better than who they are now. Encouraging the government, telling the government the amenities we are enjoying here, that they can implement there, that will make it better. First of all, encouraging the government to put on electricity. When there is electricity, many businesses will be able to flow. Encouraging our parents to have the numbers of children they can take care of. Not having excessive children that will become nuisance on the street. In my conclusion, it is not by us living abroad, running away from home, that will bring security to our home. We have to go and survey that country. We have to go and fight for what belongs to us. We cannot say because there are nuisance in our Edo kingdom, then we will make a foreign land our home. Peradventure, we are asked to go. Where will you start from? We cannot say because we are living in the people fought in the different countries we are living in to make their place a suitable one for them. Then, with that on our head that people have fought for their country, let us go home and fight for our country too. Anything you learn here, go and implement it there. Our thinking we are the richest in the world. We are not. We are not the richest. And we should always know that before they were saying witches and wizards, we kill them. Now it's the court or this and that. People still go there and come home safe. That is why I will tell people, know the companies you keep, both here or at home. The company you keep will make you to be secured or not. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Sister Fairley, you want to take it up from there, please?
Yes, thank you. My own contribution. Sorry. Welcome. My own contribution is this. I would advise.
Welcome, sister.
My own contribution is, if it's possible, to engage. I can remember years back, before we even traveled, years back, at the stadium, there are many sports going on there. I will advise to the government to try and engage these youth, engage them properly, so that they can have something to do, because an adult's mind is the devil's workshop. Engage them in sports and other things they are interested in. Look for a job for them, no matter how small the money is. Then they can start from there. Then the insecurity we are talking about was not made by other countries. We made it ourselves. So we should try as much as possible to solve the insecurity problems, because there right now the herdsmen are doing their own now. The court will do their own. The women don't have the women there, they're no longer safe. The farmers are no longer safe. People that go to the market, they're no longer safe. Things are very, very expensive. Bless you. My own conclusion is the government should try and engage these youths into sports, so that they can burn their energy there and make use of their energy in a positive way. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sister Fairley. I wanted to say the advice you've given, they're quite sound, and the encouragement to from both of you to to try to get people to understand that it is only we that can make this security issue that we're facing go away. The insecurity issue sort of, go away. It depends on us. It's what we want to do with it, Yes. I understand sentiment and all of that, Okay, hold on. We don't see you, so we cannot invite you if we don't see you. So, because your spot is all dark right now. Excuse me. Okay, welcome back. What I had asked Sister Sandra and Sister Fairley to
can I go ahead?
To contribute. Yeah, hold on a second. So you got to know where to come in. How do you go about encouraging people in spite of the security problems in the country to still make attempts to relocate back home, to play their role, to contribute to the building of the society? So how do you do that despite the security problems? Okay, but go ahead. Okay, but we always have a problem with your mic. Yeah, go ahead. Your connection to the internet is very poor, Kai, but that's why you have this flow. Yeah. Your connection is pretty poor. That's why we're having this problem. Because I don't have the problem with Sister Sandra. Don't have it with Sister Fairley. So you might want to make your connection a little stronger, brother.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Yeah, but you breaking up all the time. Always breaking up.
Hearing you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, but in a moment it'll break up too. Go ahead.
No, I'm just,
see.
Can you hear me? The same way I'm receiving you, you are breaking.
Yeah, that is your connection, because Sister Sandra don't have that problem with me. Sister Fairley don't have that problem with me, and I don't have that problem with them. So you may want to reconnect. Yeah.
I don't know why you are getting that problem with me.
All right. Maybe you want to switch off and reconnect.
I don't know.
Okay, before you do that, can we continue? Get back to Sister Sandra or Feli? I can hear you now, but all right, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead, brother.
All right.
Okay. All right. He's disconnected. So, Sister Sandra, like I was saying, I thank y'all for that contribution, the advice that you proffered. They are quite sound, and but it remains the fact that we can only do so much individually.
Mm-hmm.
The point still has to be that the federal government has the responsibility to make the country secure. Infrastructural provision is the job of the government. It's not the job of individuals. It's not your job. It's not my job. We're talking about the people here doing every provisions. No, the government made all the infrastructural provision to make sure that life is conducive and comfortable for the people here. The people come to it by paying taxes. That's their contribution because the government need to do all of these things. So people have to pay taxes over there as well. Number one. Number two, what do they do with the taxes if they are being paid? People here use the money in the right way. Over there, they take the money and put in their own bank accounts. They embezzle money. They siphon the money abroad. We have a whole lot of people whose accounts abroad are in the billions. People that we have entrusted with running that country. So those are the problems, my sisters. If we can eliminate corruption and the looting of our treasury and make sure that people that are in government are upright and outstanding people who cares about doing their utmost best to make the country better, then we won't be having all of these problems. Because it's all good to say, oh, I brought people contribute and all that. Well, people are corrupt here too, but not at the level you see in Africa. The corruption there is just right in your face. I'll take everything and you will have nothing. And that is where we at. And that is the major problem. But having said that, Okaigbe, we want to see if he can join us because he's back. Okaigbe, can you hear me? Okaigbe, are you there?
Yes.
I can hear you.
I can see you, but I can't hear you. Okay, I can hear you now. So, Okaigbe, you heard what we were saying. So, all right, good. It's better now. So, get on board, man. Get on board. Go ahead. You have the floor.
Yeah. So, I'm going to talk now. The problem is that we need to, according to what they said, that we need to contribute to the society back home. Yeah, part of the contribution will have to be like, it is not only money we need to be sending home to look after our brothers or our siblings. We need to transfer some technology back home. Then I'll go take it back to when they said that they need to go home and that when the children will take over. All those are just living in a cuckoo land. We're just dreaming. It's not going to happen. The only way, the new migrants, when they are coming for America, they should advise them to have their children and send back to Nigeria so that they look after them.
The Nigerian
find ourselves in a situation whereby almost all of us in the United... No, wait. Yeah, Nigeria is insecure. No doubt about that. It's not secured. It's not secured. Think of it. A man left America to Nigeria 3 weeks ago to go and help for the estate you there, the house you there. On his way back to America, he was killed. It's not the only one. I have countless people that were killed, murdered in the forest, in the farm. For us to create job in my other program on the platform, my other broadcast. Nigeria, for us to information to help the governor, because I overheard her saying we should not be criticizing, we should help. Here is a situation, like our moderator rightly said, these people loot the treasury and take the money away. We in overseas here to just start fighting for money. Our time staying here, we have learned a lot. We can transfer a lot of technology. That happened in China. Situation up to now, of all the Edo people, a lot of them left Nigeria to come here. We still cannot produce fridges or freezer, produce anything.
We.
A situation whereby we look at no production. So for me to advise my governor, our governor, is to try and send the youth straight back to the farm. And on his own part, it should vamp the former traditional corporations which we have. We had the Bender Building, we had the Edolites, we had the Bender Glassry, we had the Bender Cement Factory. All those ones are dead. Any governor, any leaders who comes into being want to come up so that people can praise him that he's working. This has been the problem which we have. And each time I talk about it, give me negative comment. It means my family to death. I do this, I talk about this because I know a lot of them, they came here out of poverty, economic migrants, brought them all over here. People who would have made good use of our agriculture, be a good farmers, big farmers. You can imagine people farming. Your brother have to come to overseas, he will buy you one tractor, you will have bigger farms. Those people want to live and come to Europe to wash a Nyash. These are just our problems, and we will not say this. And when they eventually make this money, they go and use this money to go and build houses, they will live here. These are our problems. Look at it, we're discussing now. They said, okay, you cannot spend a lot of money in that house in Nigeria to die here. You don't want a care worker, care assistant to look after you in Europe. You want to go home and go and live in your house. Will your children come? No arrangement for that. And this is Benin parable, which says, if you will see, said the LC today is just that 6 feet as Amuto. That is ant takes care of you. When all these parables, when all these cultures were being made, our forefathers did not know that there would be a time our children will go to Europe and just leave it at this point of this time so that I do not offend my basic.
Okay. All right. Sister Moitia, your device is not connected, so you need to reconnect your device because you're out of the studio. So, Sister Fairley, you heard what the Okagwe just said, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on that? I mean, I don't want us to get too political here. We can touch on some of the reasons that are political and all that, but I really want to bring the conversation back to why we find a whole lot of us relocating home to start a new family after residing here, in abroad for a long period of time, so we can keep that in perspective, because that's the sole reason why we are, doing the ESK program tonight. Yes. So politics aside and reason, but they are valid reasons, we must admit, because it is the inability of our leaders to do the right thing, the things they're supposed to do, looting our treasuries and being overly corrupt and messing up with everything that they can mess up in the country, that has created the situation we're in right now, where people are flocking to leave the country abroad for looking for greener pastures, So we cannot avoid that, and we cannot underestimate that. But in any case, we keep to the subject. People are relocating back home to start a new family. Some of the reasons you guys have spoken about are valid, but there's still something there that, tackle. Why start a new family altogether? Is it so cultural? Is this so customary? If you have a family here, like Okagbe was saying, it cannot marry. So why can't you just leave where you are with your family and be comfortable and not worry about, if I don't relocate home, my life is incomplete. Who told you your life is incomplete if you do not relocate back home? And what makes your life incomplete if you do not relocate back home? So, dwell on that, please. Dwell on that.
Okay, thank you. As I said earlier on, it's a matter of choice.
You're welcome.
It's a matter of choice. If you want to relocate back home, it's a matter of choice. If you want to stay here, it's a matter of choice. Whatever you want to do is individual differences, So for most people that I know, or the way I think about, we have culture. Look at the Chinese people. Look at the Chinese people. Every year they go back home to celebrate. Look at the Indians. They go back home to celebrate. Likewise other countries. But in Nigeria, Edo people, even when you are doing the Igwe festival here, they're going to say, Ebono, Ogebo, Ebou. We are losing our culture. We are losing our tradition.
Yeah.
We are losing our tradition. If at your age now, you are in Nigeria, your father is still alive, your father will tell you, you go back home. For example. But then we are outgrowing our tradition bit by bit. No, that is not nice. It's okay, but there's also a negative effect to that. That is not going well with most of us. If you're not many adults, how many adults are here in the diaspora? If you count them, maybe we are thousands and thousands and thousands. And those thousands, if your children, we have 5 children or 4 children or 2, you multiply it, and if half of them or almost 100% of them are married to a non-Nigerian, to a or to a non-Nigerian, let me say Nigeria, to a non-Nigerian, they marry out of this. Where are your grandchildren, great-grandchildren going? Where are our generations to come? Where are they going? So it's our duty to fix that. If we can't fix it 100%, we should try and fix it 50%. Now that we are talking about it, many people will now be aware. The awareness is what we are trying to portray here. To let people know Some people just live day to day, go to work, come back, eat, take care of home, 24 years, 15 years. They don't have that awareness that tomorrow, how is it going to be with my children? The children will neither be here or there in the future. They can never belong here. No matter if they like, let them, they can never belong. It's not their place. So we should try as much as possible to teach them and to alert them and let them be aware that here is not home. Here is not home. And we, the parents, must start to do that and go back home and let the children now come home. They have somebody to fall on. Because if you are here, they will never go. But if you are back home, then there was holiday, I have to go and see mom. Holiday time, I have to go and see dad. By so doing, they will not mix up with the family and the culture and integrate bit by bit. It's not by force. It's individual, please. I'm not trying to push it down anybody's throat. It's my own view. So it's individual differences. If you want to stay here and spend your own years here, fine.
Can I come in?
But if you want to go back home, the way I believe is better, fine. Mr. Kagbe, you are here now, your age now, at home now, you have 3 wives. You will not still be, your mates here now, some of them are still going to the supermarket to go and buy food stuff, take rubber bag, go to shopping mall, buy okra, buy gari and come at the age of 65. Is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? Of course not. It's not everybody that is married here. It's not all men that are married. It's not all women that are married. If that time comes, just pick your bag, find it in your heart, find the courage, take your bag and go home. Life is not yet over. But here, when you are living here, depression, frustration, you think you are just going. The next day, when you wake up, you say, "Thank you, Lord, for making me stand up from my bed, for giving me the courage to stand up today," because you think there's no hope anymore. But there is. I'm not saying you have to go home. I'm not saying you must.
Thank you.
I'm not saying you must go home. What I'm trying to say is this: if you are married here with your wife, and your wife don't have children at home before you travel down to Europe, or your husband don't have at home, all your children are here, please, my advice, my view anyway, is better to go home and relax and start a new family there. Because those ones might, don't get me wrong, might be the link to these ones you have here. Those ones at home, you are thinking is not
going to... sister.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. So please, don't get me wrong. Home is home, no matter what.
I appreciate it. Thank you. But okay, Okagbe, which brings me to the question, right? All right. At a certain age, when people over 40, over 50, over 50, maybe going to 60, or maybe a little above 60, can you really start a new family? Isn't there a disadvantage trying to start a new family at the age of 50, 60, 45? Isn't there some kind of issues with that? How can you play a role in when you give birth to at the age of 50, 60, for instance? Your youth days are gone. Your level is reduced drastically. What role can you play positively children that you start that you're now trying to raise when you go back home, say you're 50, 55, 60? Okay, but go ahead, please.
Thank you very much, the moderator. You see, on this question, I like to borrow a leaf from Madame Imotinyan's theory on culture. The Edo tradition fights for that. Like I'm a product of. My father was born in 1890. and he died in 1965 when I was. But today, I am the only surviving son of my father. Today, at the age of 50, 60, I am the Okagbe of I'm an uncle to Madame Felona Ogmoma, the man who created Church of God Mission. My father is the immediate senior brother to his father. So I'm range senior to me. Those are the advantages. It's easy.
Okay.
It's a man's world. Man can still risk it. Would you expect
nothing without a woman?
United Kingdom. A man who a situation whereby the wife doesn't want to come back home with him. Shopping, go buy meat, go buy everything, come cook. They bend down the grand pepper to feed himself. I'm just using myself as an example. I didn't say my wife says she's not coming to Nigeria. A lot of people are in that, especially those who married foreigners. This forum,
now you break it again.
Matters, such problems can be solved. A forum.
All right, we experiencing some technical issue with your microphone again, Okagbe. You know, I got your point, but in any case,
I don't know what happened. When I
we are running out of time anyway, because this broadcast was supposed to last for 2 hours, but because of the technical issues in the beginning and you know, and the delay in between, it took us this long. So, but we about to round up in about 5 minutes. We should be rounding up. So all I just want now is last words that you can offer to the people, you know. So a word of advice with regards to the subject at hand as to why people will find it necessary to relocate back home to start a new family after spending so long abroad, you know, Edolites in the diaspora. So please, each of you, if you can take a couple of minutes out to just give, you know, your roundup, maybe a little advice, maybe a little opinion. Okagbe is gone again. So, Sister Sandra, you want to go first? Conclusion, please. You know, last words of advice, or you know, your own roundup. Sister Sandra is on. She's with us. Sister Sandra.
So, when we are talking of going back home, are you hearing me?
Yes.
Are you hearing me?
Yes.
In my conclusion, when we are thinking of going back home to have another family, remember, most people may not want to have other children.
Pardon.
They may likely want a woman that is not productive again, that is concerning children, then that they can hook up to, that they can go together to go and enjoy their lives. But in one aspect I want to quickly bring in, going back home, we are talking of the healthy ones. Remember, there are some people that are sick that may want to go home, but because of fear of stories we are hearing, they die in pain abroad. People, as I've always said, if you know you are homesick, there should be nothing that will prevent you not to go back home. If you know you are homesick, going back home will be a healing to you. Going to meet your people you left behind, going to the land of which you came from will be very nice for you. Security or no security, people are still living there. We are emphasizing on children born here. Are there no children in Nigeria? We should not just think Nigeria is just too rough that children born here. They are not using extra blood. No one is using fuel. Whether children born back there or born here, no one is superior than the other. If you feel like going home, encourage your children to go back with you. If they are grown up enough to remain where they were born, good and fine. But if they feel like going back with you, remember they already have their passports of where they were born. Anytime they can still relocate back to the country where they were born. So taking your children back home should not be a barrier. There should be no barrier. No one is after their lives. People die abroad. So also people die at home. If you know you are homesick and you don't go and you die in a foreign land, you are a failure, as I said before. If you know you are not homesick, you have reasons of you. If you have reasons of not going back home and your mind is made up that you are not going back home, remain where you are and make good use of yourself there. But all I want to say, and my last word is Agadueki Owajo, Agajugbo Owajo. Let us find a way to make our home better. I cannot say because thieves came to my house, I will not run and leave my house to be a tenant somewhere else. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sister Sandra, for your roundup. Over to Sister Fairley.
Yes. Thank you, moderator. My own final conclusion is this. Just as my sister said, Sister Motian said, it's a matter of choice. If you feel you want to go back home, fine, go back home. It's never too late. Those who are 40 years now, who are 35, who are 48, if you can still make any other changes, please do. Take your children home often. Teach your children about your tradition, where they are from. Integrate them. Teach them the customs. Then in the future, if they want to go back home, then they can go back home. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. It's been a blessing and an honor having you guys on board to deliberate on these very critical and important issue concerning Edolites, and we're going to be doing this often. We agreed to be doing this a couple of times a week. So next broadcast is going to be on Wednesday, same time, same place, ESK channel on YouTube. And the topic of the next program, we will let you know. We will be sharing a YouTube link to everyone we know and people who have subscribed to the channel, and through other means, through WhatsApp and through Facebook, so people can be aware of what is coming on next. So that should be in a day or so. We'll be able to share that link to everybody. So as people who are listening can testify to right now, we are pretty much dealing with issues that concerns us, issues that are valid to us, issues that are important to us on ESK. And being a part of it is a blessing too. So please, next time, do not hesitate to come aboard, come to the channel, listen to the program, and watch what we're up to here. It is all positive. It is all progressive. So I'd like to thank you all for joining us, and hope to see you next Wednesday. No, actually this week's Wednesday. So in a couple of days, I must say. On Wednesday, we're going to be back here, same time, same place, ESK. This is Osagbovo One of the universe saying ciao to my sister, my beautiful sister, and to Okagbe, lovely brother, and to everybody listening. Good night.
Good night. Thank you. Bye.
Good night. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye. See you on Wednesday.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
A good deed deserves another.
Good night.
Ask me to wrap
Good
you.
night. Bye.